this is Joe with the Cockeyed Homestead. We had a minor malfunction with the camera. Come along with us. Come along with me. I'm making marinara sauce. And I'm not just making a little bit. As you can see, I made a killing on crushed tomatoes and diced tomatoes. And I found them at the dollar store for $1 a can. So altogether, between 3 cans of diced tomatoes, and 5 cans of crushed tomatoes, I've got pretty close to 10 pounds of tomatoes in here. I've steamed off or softened 4 cups of diced onions, 12 cloves of garlic, a tablespoon of parsley, 2 tablespoons of oregano that we grew here on the homestead, basil, same thing, that we grew on the homestead. When I dehydrate my herbs, I leave them in their natural state. I cut them off and I put them in the dehydrator, stem and all. Dehydrate it, put it in a Ziploc bag. Suck all the air out of it. When I want to use it, I'll pull it out whole and crush it while I'm cooking. That way it maintains all its essential oils and flavors. And it just tastes as good as fresh. What else do I have? Oh yes, I put a half teaspoon of pepper and a pinch of red pepper flake in here. Now, if you're buying Italian seasoning, my first question is, why? All Italian seasoning is oregano, rosemary, and basil that's been ground together. It doesn't get much simpler, even though it has a fancy name in the store for a blend. But for this, I've reconstituted 2 cups of dehydrated mushrooms. I may add more to the dinner pot because, what can I say? It's Mel and I. We just love us some mushrooms. And instead of making this with ground beef, I'm making it with turkey tonight. So it will be a low-fat meal. The pasta is made from organic flour. And I'll just let this simmer on the back burner with the lid kind of cockeyed for at least an hour, and then come and stir it again, taste it, and adjust seasonings. It's been an hour, and I've been simmering this sauce for that time. It's not as thick as I'd like it, so I'm going to let it simmer for another hour, or however long it takes to get to the consistency I like. But in the meantime, it's getting late. I went ahead and cooked off some pasta. I've got some ground turkey browning in the skillet, and I'll spoon some of this sauce over it, and Mel and I'll have dinner while this cooks. Sounds like a plan to me. Well, it took longer than I expected to get to the thickness I wanted. It took about 2.5 hours. But now I've got nice, thick marinara sauce. Mel and I have already had our dinner, which she enjoyed.
Yum!
But now I'm ladling the balance. Pulled out about 4 cups for dinner. And that'll feed us for 2 meals. But now I just ladle the hot sauce into my quart jars. I'm going to leave it probably about an inch of head space. And I'm going to pressure can this. Pressure can it for 30 minutes and it'll be done. Get my little paper towel here. And as always, at least I do, I dip it in vinegar, make sure I get all the goobers off. Grab a ring. Down in my sink, I have a basin of water that I put the lid and rings in. I just poured boiling water over them. Even though Ball says you technically don't have to do that, I do it anyhow. And again, ouch, it's hot. We put it armpit tight. And I'll bring you back when I get all the rest of them into the canner and get ready to turn it on. Woo! It didn't break. Yay! Okay, so I ended up with 10 quart jars in my canner. Pressure canners come up to pressure. I set my timer for 30 minutes. And I'll pull them out and sit them on the counter for 24 hours. Take the rings off, wipe them down, and put them in my cupboard for when we want spaghetti later on. With 10 quart jars, I can count on at least 2 meals from each jar all winter long. And then the satisfaction of knowing that it's a good product, it tastes good, and it's my recipe. This has been Jo from the Cockeyed Homestead. Y'all have a blessed day.